Hello, hello. Good evening to our viewers all over the world. It's another beautiful day. It is the day that the Lord has made. You are welcome once again to MCB Real Life Talk Show, where transformation, healing, and the blessing abound. I'm really sorry we're a bit late, about 12 minutes late. It's just circumstances beyond our control. Please accept our apology, and the Lord will bless you in Jesus' name. I just want to say, be thou exalted to the Lord God Almighty for great thing that He has done, what He's doing, what is yet to do in our lives, for making us to see another beautiful day in His presence. It can only be God. It can only be God, for us to be alive today. It can only be God. Let's just give glory and adoration to Him. We bless you, we worship, we adore you, Lord. In Jesus' name, we praise. And of course, you know that on this platform, we declare that Jesus is Lord because He is the Lord of all lords and the King of all kings, the ruler of all rulers, the wisdom of the wise. And our anchor is also taken from Psalm 107, 1 and 2, which says, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for He is good and His mercies endures forever." Verse 2 of that Psalm 107 says, "Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their stories, whom He has redeemed from the hand of its enemy." And that's what, of course, that's why we're here, because the Lord has redeemed us from the hand of our enemies. The Lord has protected us from all kind of ill things. It can only be God. And that's why we're here, to tell our stories, to tell you, to glorify God with our stories, and of course, to shame the devil with our story. And if you've got a story to share, please just get in touch with me. You can inbox me, you can DM me, or you call me on 0744 0277 517. I repeat that again, 0744 0277 517. Just get through to me on through the Facebook page, Carol Babalola, and you will be here. I'm very sure you'll be here. You'll be the next guest on this program. I really appreciate you guys for coming over and over. I appreciate you. I just want to say thank you. For tonight, please invite your family and friends. Just tell them there's a story you have to learn from, and then you begin to appreciate God more. Okay? And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, MCB TV channel, Carol Babalola. And of course, as usual, I'm your host on this platform, on this talk show, and my name is Minister Carol Babalola. All right. Like I said earlier on, this is the platform where we use our stories to glorify God. We empower people with our story. We inspire people with our life experiences. Things will always happen. But for those who have been through it, those who have actually, go through these challenges, they come here to tell you how they have, how they went through, how they felt, what happened. And then that, you are also able to go through whatever you are going through now by God's grace. It's only through the strength of God, by not by anybody's strength can you prevail. Only by the strength of God you can prevail. These women that we invite on this program, they've all gone through challenges, issues of life, and they overcame by the strength of God. They are standing, they are here to glorify God and say, you know what, this is what the Lord has done for me, and it is marvelous in our sight. Okay. And today's topic is survivor of 5 cardiac arrest in 4 days. Did you get that? Survivor of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cardiac arrests in 4 days. To have 1 cardiac arrest is horrible enough, but to have 5 cardiac arrests, oh my God, that it can only be God that will make such a person to survive and to live to tell her story. It's only God. And that's because God has a plan for her. Excuse me. And that's because God has a plan for her life. 5, oh my God, I don't know. You're going to hear her story. Our next guest on this show today, excuse me, please. And let's get on this show today. It's another beautiful, brave, bold, powerful woman of substance. You know, she's a reinvention coach, upcoming international speaker and author. She's a mother, she's an educator, she's a founder of Reinvention Mastery Program. Her short bio here. So having suffered 5 heart attack in 4 days, being declared brain dead, and recovering more than 1 month later. Adaobi is an example of someone who recreated the story of her life from someone who wasn't living her true purpose to someone now dedicated to motivating clients who wish to adapt a new lifestyle to reinvent themselves, improve their health, fitness, and appearance. Adaobi offers a realistic approach to attaining a healthy balance through nutrition. All right. I'm just going to invite her on this platform. Please help me to invite Adaobi Onye Willie on this show. Hello, sis.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Hello, Carol. I'm fine, very well, thank you.
God bless you. You're looking radiant.
Thank you very
You don't
much.
look like somebody who had one heart attack or much more 4 or 5.
Yes, that is God saved my life. God
He's
saved
a
my
good
life.
God. He's good, isn't he? You don't know what you have or until you lose it.
That is true. That is definitely true. That is
Wow.
very true.
Anyway, before we go into your story, can you please introduce yourself to us? Who is Ada Onye Willie?
Okay. Adobe, my full name is
Adobe.
Adobe Onyekwele. I'm an inspirational speaker, a motivational coach, and the author of the best-selling book on Amazon, Reinvent Yourself. This book has changed so many people's life, and it's a book that I wrote about the experiences and issues that I suffered when I had the cardiac arrest. So I was so grateful that I wanted to share my story with other women so that they can learn and not wait for when they succumb to any illness, any type at all.
Wow, wow. All right, before we actually go into your story, can you tell us about your upbringing?
I was born in Nigeria to a Christian family, and my mother had 9 children, but 7 are surviving. But I'm also the seventh child.
Wow.
And I grew up in Lagos. I was born in Enugu in the Igbo community. I grew up in Lagos. But when my father died, we moved to Onitsha. I went to Marymount College, Agbo. So that was how I got most of my teenage years were formed in Onitsha. So I'm a real Igbo person.
You are a real Igbo person. How we, that's very good. Igbo is part of Nigeria.
Nigeria. Yes,
One
yes.
of the major, how do you put it? Is it
The
major
ethnic,
dialect or ethnic group
yes,
in
yes.
Nigeria? It's one of the major. I think there are 3 major ethnic. I don't know how they call it. Ethnic groups in Nigeria. It's
Yes,
the Igbo, Hausa,
Hausa,
and the Yoruba.
Yoruba, and Igbo.
Yeah. So, how did you get to London?
Um, that's a long story. I didn't know anybody in London. I never thought London was for me. Because when we were in school, I had all these people with their father is like governor and minister. They were going to London. And we just go to them just to give us like maybe
Sweet
biscuits or
biscuit or
chocolate.
fruit.
So to me, that was what London is about. But um, through them, I was reading books like Enid Blyton, Nancy Drew, and that sort of showed me another part of the world. But I didn't know I was going to get to London until I finished my school and I was jobless. It was so bad that Sometimes, I eat one egg in a month because we couldn't afford eggs. And that was why I found myself to survive. I had to go to Lagos. But when I went back to Lagos, because I grew up in my early years in Lagos, things were still tough. Nobody would help me. I had rich uncles, but no help because my father had died. And that's one of the reality in Nigeria. When your parents passes away, the remaining uncles or something, they don't like to support. They just leave you to Walter. So there's a friend of mine that's always been fascinated by London. She was the one that said we should go on holiday. And that was how I found myself in London.
So you never went back?
I've actually I came to first time on holiday, but I didn't stay because to me, people that are intelligent don't come abroad. Usually, people that go abroad in the olden days were dunces, people that couldn't make it in life, so their parents sent them to abroad.
Really?
So, yes, that was
I'm
my,
hearing that
well,
for the first time.
people that don't want to read, they send them to London. The smart people are in Nigeria. That was my reality. But when I went, I came back on holiday. My uncle actually paid for me. But when I finished school, I had to, if I knew then what I know, I would have stayed. But it didn't occur to me. I just wanted to enjoy life. So when I went again, I actually came to work because then when you're under 27, there's a scheme that you can do holiday job and go back to Nigeria. I came for that, but I couldn't because I met somebody that I love, and that's why I stayed.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Please tell us, what were you doing or what led before the cardiac arrest?
Well, because I've come from London, from Nigeria, usually as an immigrant, you want to live the same life that you have in Nigeria. But when I came, all I saw was cleaning job, was rubbish job. But I was happy because it was better than I was earning better than I should have in Nigeria. So I
Mhm.
didn't think of my career. But the time I met a different circle of friends, then I started thinking of going to university to further my career. So I went to South Bank, did a course on information technology. From there, I met I couldn't get a job after that because my mindset was different until I met my husband. He sort of persuaded me to work in JP Morgan. So I was working in investment banks, places that I could never dream of working. So that was my first taste that I could actually be significant in life. So working that, but few years into the marriage, the marriage wasn't working and it was affecting me because that wasn't my dream. I wanted to be, I'm usually a happy person, a free person. So I was, that was when I started descending again to, is it to very low on happiness.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay. At that point, the first thing you said you met new friends that actually gave you a new mindset or open your eye to a better life.
Yeah,
So in life, there are people who can, upgrade you, and there are people that, you meet in life, it will not improve your life.
I didn't know that before. I only learned that because I looked at the people I was when I came. They were all early morning cleaners. And I thought that was the thing to do. But when I met a girl that came from Nigeria, she was thinking of doing a course in the university. And I said, wow, so we can do that. So that's changed you see, she had to come from
Perception
Nigeria.
in life.
Yeah, so I just did that for fun, but it opened new
Doors.
opportunities for me. Yes.
Wow, that's good. And then another thing that I'm very, that I'm very, I don't know how to that I'm very one thing that I like so much, I like to promote, it's mindset.
Mm. Oh,
We talk
that
about
is,
mindset as well there, that your husband helped you build a new mindset, he encourage you in life. You need people to encourage you to go to the next level, because sometimes, because of our background, where we're from, because of maybe knowledge or education, you feel kind
mhm.
of you have that low self-esteem to, but if you see somebody that can actually just encourage you a little bit, you can always, go further than you ever thought.
That is true. Like when I finished from South Bank University, I actually went to work for IATA. It's an airline company. And I was just doing, I work for British Telecom, but I wasn't doing the job that they were having me on internship, but they weren't ready to keep me. But when I met my husband, he encouraged me to apply. He actually helped me with the application form. And I started working in JP Morgan. When I was there, I was able to meet those on trading floor. They were intelligent people, and I'm actually brighter than most of them there. The people on the trading floor, I could think better than them, reason better than them. And I'm wondering, how could these people be working here? And because I'm Black and I don't know what I want. So that actually made me, so now I'm not scared to go into any establishment. I ended up working in Dresner, Clywood Benson, JP Morgan, um, you know, um, most of those big banks, even Coats Bank. So I wasn't intimidated. And from then on, I now knew that um, it's not difficult to change lane, but which I didn't know. So those are the things that gave me the confidence that I actually forgot about when I had problems with my marriage because everything went down the drain. But I couldn't see the light until I became ill.
Now, can you please tell us, because most people are in that very position that you've been through? Problem in marriages. Marriage, our family is the bedrock of a society. Marriage is an institution made by God. God wants it to work. But sometimes things will happen. Is that you cause it yourself or people will cause it? The in-laws, the outlaws will bring extra trouble. So what really happened? Because in the beginning, it wasn't so. You even said that your husband helped you.
Yes, it was the man was it was when I met him, because I'm not one of those that since I was in school, I don't follow sugar daddies. I think those men going after old men with money, because I don't know, but I knew that I can help myself. When I met him, was a young man who is very, very talented. He's handsome and he's a go-getter, just like me. So I decided to marry him. I actually met him in 2 months. In 2 months, we got married. Because prior to that, I was going out with an Igbo guy who for 6 years didn't marry me. All because I developed fibroids and felt, oh, I don't want to marry somebody that is barren. So
Wow.
so this guy took a chance on me. He said, this doesn't matter. I am, even if you don't have children, that's fine. I just want to marry you. And that was how we got married. But he was able to bring out the best in me. He actually pushed me to the extent that even with pregnancy, I was working in the local government ombudsman in Victoria, where I was the assistant IT head, and I was doing everything. So it's like I didn't know. I think it was like probably my family, or I don't know what happened between us because we started up on the right footing. But after I had my daughter, everything went pear-shaped. And before then, my mother was living with me. So even though she was in my house, my marriage was falling apart right under her nose.
So what would you say was the cause of this? Because they said three is a crowd. Could that be the cause? Because sometimes we think as a woman, we're saying that because we want other women to learn from maybe your mistake. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because most cases we think we women that if our mother is in the house, there'll be no issue in the marriage. So what can you actually, looking back now, you think caused that issue to the extent that you went apart and your mother didn't really play the role that you thought she was supposed to play?
Well, when my mother was with us, actually I was so happy because I felt okay, she's going to support me. But the pregnancy was a very difficult one. and I was struggling. And when I, instead of helping me, she was mocking me, and she told me that she had 9 children. Even she had to go to farm. Me, I'm just having just one child, and I'm complaining. So I think her remarks was what my husband took on board.
Didn't like.
Yeah, no, he felt my mother was right, because I think he said he asked his friends, and his friends said, "Oh, their wife didn't have problem. So how come just one pregnancy?" And I'm like, couldn't do anything. So I
Mm,
think that started the lack of care in the marriage.
okay.
So if we're in Africa, maybe we'll have had elders coming. But my mother, I don't know whether she was equipped. I don't know her background. She's a mother, but I don't know what she has seen in her own life. But the marriage just went on from there. And instead of growing, it kept falling and falling. So my idea of like the family being the bedrock of marriage now is a bit I I just think couples should get to know each other better, because we're in a marriage, but we were, if I have any problem, I tell my mom. If he has problems, probably he tells his friends, I don't know. But I was relying on my mom, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, instead of two of us confronting ourselves. So the
Mm,
marriage was like,
going apart and part apart. Could it be that it's because both of you were from different ethnic group? Because he's from Yoruba and you are Igbo. Could that have had any effects on the marriage?
well, when I met him, I was told that couldn't I find an Igbo boy to marry? But eventually, because he came home to Nigeria, they said he has to come to Nigeria. And he paid a hefty bride price. The price was because I live in London. No, I'm a graduate. Number one. The price goes up because I live in London. And it went up again because I have a master's degree. So the price just kept going up for him. So I remember his people were, he was a bit upset because he didn't see why he has to pay all that
That
money.
much?
I think they charged him some millions of naira.
Really?
So, and they actually told him that he has to pay in pounds as well, instead of in naira. And and I think he got upset because we ended up, we got married in London in the Waltham Forest, um the council office, and we went to Nigeria. We married in Warri, the native law and custom. His people took a big bus. They put all his people there and they went all the way. Thank God, no accidents. Then after we went to St. Dominic's Church, Catholic Church, we got married, white wedding, where all the family came. Then we came back to London, got married again. In fact, our friends were calling us four weddings. You know, that four
Wow.
weddings and a funeral. And that was quite, because I didn't like the name, but that was, you could have thought all those weddings were sure banker. And again, my parents were not happy because my two sisters, I've got two senior sisters, they never had a white wedding. And she keeps drumming into my ears from when I was small that you will follow your sisters. You are just going to throw yourself to a man, he's not going to marry you. So maybe unconsciously, I was making up for my sisters that didn't do white wedding. So I
Wow.
had all the weddings, but still, it cracks.
Yeah, but when we really, this is not what we're going to talk about. Maybe I'm going to invite you again to talk about this actually, because when you look at it, you can see some signs in there. One, you're thinking about limiting beliefs. You know, you're trying to fight that limiting beliefs by doing all the kind of wedding. And then two, the family, your family was very supportive. They weren't supportive in the first place. And three, what I can pick from the story is what I'm talking about now. Allow your mommy to live with you for that long will definitely affect the relationship.
I
Like I
didn't
said
know.
earlier
I wish
on,
I knew.
for now, yeah.
Yeah.
For people watching or listening, they have to learn from that. I mean, if a mother should come for about a month, 2 months, 3 months, that should be enough. Because the Bible said it too. He said, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be cleaved to his wife. No longer be, they'll no longer be two, but they'll be one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what the Bible said. They'll be one. So it didn't say the father and the mother will be start living with them, because that's the beginning of problem. Because she comes, she will be looking and be seeing everything that is going, any knitting gritty, any small thing, she'll be picking it up and she'll be showing it to you. Something you don't even see it, or something that you ignore, she will come and make it bigger than it seems. I think I don't encourage anybody to let their mother or whatever to stay more than is necessary.
She lived with us for 10 years.
And we're happy about that.
No, well, then I couldn't, you see, I think I was blind. I don't know, probably it's like I wasn't existing because I don't know how I allowed that. So my husband was never at home. He kept taking job in Switzerland, all over the world. And he just keeps telling me, oh, I want to take job outside because they pay better. Now, looking back, I don't know what he was actually doing, working in Austria, in Germany, all over the world. And I was stuck at home just with my mom. He comes home like once a month or something, but that marriage, that's
No, I mean, there is a lot of things to pick and choose and, dissect in this from the story that you are telling me, honestly. A man needs his own home. Let's say a man's home is his castle. Do you get what I'm saying? If there
yeah.
are two women in a house, he's not going to be comfortable in his house. So that would have been an excuse to say, you know what, I'm traveling, I want to go and work some. He loves you, even for him to be doing that. Some men will not even take it. Do you get what I'm saying? But let
Yeah.
me not be the judge and the jury here. That's not what we're doing. So what actually happened after that? You wrote a book. That book.
Well, what happened was that, because I was feeling, I think things weren't working, we separated. And I didn't like it because that wasn't everybody that marries. You want the marriage to be forever. Nobody wants to separate. And I felt so bad. I didn't want to leave. I stayed there. In the end, I had to move because everybody's lives were at risk. Because he was very, very angry all the time. And I was getting angry too. So by the time we started calling the police, I decided to go on my own. I moved out of the house. But the kids, I had two kids that were quite young, and they didn't like living from bed and breakfast to another one. And the council didn't help at all. They said they love children, but I didn't get any support. In fact, the house they gave me was damp. Then my daughter was very ill, and they didn't care. So it was just me trying to fight and everything. So I think I lost all my dream because people used to see me on the road. They think I looked mad because my clothes were dirty. And I went from church to church praying. I even gave some pastors money to pray for me for the marriage to work. But in the end, I just, it's like I went inside myself. So I think I became really depressed. And they tried to take my kids away instead of supporting me. All what happened was that I couldn't deal with what was going on, and I wanted support. About my friends, instead of supporting me, they were using me. When you are depressed, you are easily available. You're looking for friends.
Yeah,
So
you're vulnerable. You're very
yeah,
vulnerable.
so they too were using me. So I think in the end, I finally got somebody to speak to me, the MP. The MP spoke to them and they gave me a place. Finally. In fact, they were refusing me, but when they gave me a place, I was so happy. And I said, at last, we have a place. So it was during the Christmas time. And I said, okay, I'm going to have the best Christmas. I bought a very big tree because I wanted the children to have a Christmas in their own home with no conflict. 2 weeks before that, my husband came calling the police that I'm not looking after the children well. It's like, I don't know what he wanted, but at 4 a.m., the police were knocking on my door. They said, I was mistreating the children, which wasn't fully true. There was a lot of things going on. So I think all those were building up. So I think sometimes women don't know how all these things affect you. So on the 24th of December, I wanted to put the lights on the Christmas dot so I can start driving to Sainsbury and buy the last thing before people start coming. But that was as I was going towards my Christmas tree to put it, and I had the key in my hand.
Mm.
That was the last thing I remembered because I just felt woozy. And I told my son, because I had a cousin from Nigeria and I was so happy she was with me because it's good to help people. If I didn't help her, probably I would have been dead because she was the only adult in the house and she called the ambulance, you know.
Wow.
By the time the ambulance arrived, they said, that I was already dead because I've been dead for 8 minutes.
Wow.
So you can see I started that in the morning. So sometimes when I woke up in the morning, I didn't know that by the end of that day, I wouldn't even say Christmas the next day, nor even live till the evening. So that was the basis of my book to show people life can change. You
In a
know,
twinkle of an eye.
yeah.
Wow. I just want to show you a book. Just a minute. That's the book. Reinvent yourself. Discover the brilliancy within and create infinite possibility in your life. This is looking so beautiful. Where can they get this book from?
The book came out 2019, and it was the bestseller in 5 categories on Amazon. It's on amazon.co.uk.
So they can get it from Amazon.
Yeah, it actually talks about my life, and I also have a lot of nuggets because I don't want people to not follow their dreams
Mm.
and live without achieving their purpose in life. So those are the books gives a lot of things about how I survived and the steps I took to become this what I'm doing today.
Wow, wow, wow. This is turning your pain to a purpose, turning your mess into a message, isn't it?
Yes, just like it.
God knows how to change your mess into a message. And you can just imagine you were boasting, you were, quarreling, fighting, calling police for each other. And all of a sudden, things just change. All of a sudden. You didn't even think about your children when that happened, when you fell down.
No. I didn't even think about my everything just went like slow movie because my mother is 98. So to me, we have long life. I wasn't thinking about death because I have senior siblings who are like 79. So it's not there's still a long, but for my mom is very healthy today. But me, I'm the one that's nearly dying. So that was like a wake up call for me. And it forms the way I live my life today. Because when I woke up, I forgot how to read. I couldn't see. I was blind. I couldn't remember anything. And they were even getting the braille to teach me how to, how to read something. Because I've forgotten everything. And I had multiple organ failure. My liver burst into two. I was brain dead. I had biliary sepsis. So I was black. And I also have 9 blood clots dotted around. So they just said, there's no point to save my life. What pained me was because they wanted to switch off my life support. They told my family that even if I survive that, I'm going to be a vegetable. I won't be able to walk. All that happened actually. I couldn't do anything.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Just a minute. Let me show our viewers some of the pictures that you took while you were on the beds. That's you there on the sick bed,
I was like that for 2 months.
like this for 2 months.
Yeah. They couldn't save me in Croydon University Hospital. So they took me to King's College Hospital. Because of the liver, the way I was, because I was only there for 3 days. Then they took me to King's College Hospital.
Wow.
Because on the whole, I ended up having 5 cardiac arrests. And then I was in coma for 2 months.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah,
And here, you were back here.
yeah, the day I woke up from the coma.
Wow.
Yeah.
God is
That-
faithful, you know. You should
Yes.
be rolling on the ground every blessed day to thank God. There are a lot of people that went through this and they're no more. Not even as, theirs is not even as bad as this.
That
So
is
tell us,
true.
take us through what happened actually. So you wanted to put the light on the Christmas tree and it happened. You went to the hospital. So how did it go?
Well, when they took me to the hospital, I had a cousin of mine that came from Nigeria, because when they took her number, because when the ambulance came, the ambulance was asking my children, was I drunk? Is your mom an alcoholic? They asked, they said, she doesn't drink. So they said, okay, that they just check my pulse because they thought probably they'll give me time to wake. But when they touched me,
Mm,
my son said it become like a film. They just quickly radioed for another ambulance. And by the
mm,
time they came, two people were some were bringing things, they were doing compression. But when they couldn't save me, they just took me to the hospital and left. Four of them entered one ambulance and they left the other one. By the time they got to Croydon University Hospital, they now called my cousin that she has to come, that they're going to switch off the lights, that they can't save me, that I'm already dead. So they
ah,
told her to sign so that they can put me in the mortuary. And she ran away. She ran away because she knew my mom lives in this country. And I
yeah.
have brothers who are doctors and different people. And she was also worried about her status. So because of that, she thought, oh, maybe it will
She'll get in
affect her.
trouble.
Yeah, she'd been in trouble with the police. So she ran away. Then they didn't, because she they're on her way. A nurse told her that if she doesn't sign, that they will continue to revive me. So she actually saved my life. So somehow they were able to revive me. Then, but when they tried to dissolve the blood clot that was blocking the flow to my brain and my heart, because a
Mm,
big blood clot, just big, has blocked the central part of my heart.
mm,
And when that one they dissolved it now bust my liver. So nothing was working at all. So what they decided to do was try and switch off the life support again. By this time, they've gotten my siblings, my brother in Canada. Everybody was phoning. In fact, they said nobody cooked Christmas dinner. They all they all did not cook any. Nobody ate Christmas. Because they were worried. And everybody was praying. So it was my younger brother who I don't speak to because I don't speak to him for some reason. He was the one that came in because I had so many people, but when they couldn't save me and my family didn't want to switch off the life support, they had to now they had to make the decision to take me to King's College Hospital overnight at 2:30 a.m. It happened on the 24th. On the 29th, they took me to King's College Hospital. On the way, I had another cardiac arrest. It was like I just keep having them. By the time they
mm.
got to King's College, I'd already had the fifth one, and they
Wow.
just put me they just put me.
Ventilation,
Yeah, that was how I was for two
everything.
months. Yeah.
Wow, wow. So when your brother came, you say you weren't talking to him. You see, blood is thicker than water. Even while you were not talking, he still came.
Actually, I wasn't speaking to most of my siblings because before then I began to realize that my marriage, you know, maybe their attitude and they could have saved my marriage. So I was sort of blaming them somehow unconsciously. But they were
Mm,
the one that was. So I tell people now that maybe don't make enemies, because sometimes you don't know who, because they could have just said, oh, that troublemaker, just
no, I don't
sign.
think. I don't think so. When it comes to people are not that wicked, especially family. Of course, you quarrel, you fight, and everything. And if anything happens to you, they are all out to save you. And you were one of the youngest. I mean, you say you were number 7 of the
Yeah,
9.
yeah.
So you were the baby of the house. So nobody wants anything to happen to you then. Bless you. So tell us when they took you there. So what happened? What did your brother do when he came?
No, because they didn't like my husband, so they didn't allow him to see me. It's like they kept. In fact, when I woke up, I was told that people were fighting. They said almost about 50 people were coming in, like people were fighting because they wouldn't allow my husband because of the things that happened. They thought that when they asked him to switch off the life support, he might say yes, they should. So I think that was the reason they didn't allow him in, because they didn't trust him to make the right decision. So, but where he was concerned was because my children couldn't see me. And the doctor said that, because they went to my children's doctor, they said, if the children see me in the last thing they
That's
remember
right.
was me pooing on the floor. And because I put all over the new carpet, brand new carpet, that's not a very good memory. That is good for them to come and say bye to me. So the schools were praying. My daughter's school, Coloma, was praying. My son's school, John Fisher, was praying. So it's like even the social, everybody was involved. They were preparing the children for, the teachers for how they will handle when I pass. So they're just preparing them for how they will look after the children when their mom goes. Because he was so sure that I was going. So
Wow.
those are the things that really got to me when I survived. I now felt that, I could have been, so I was actually dying. So my waking up was a miracle. That's what they told me. You know.
Wow. 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 Okay. At what point did your husband came into the scene?
Oh, my husband went to plead
Now,
with
is
me.
it your husband still or your ex-husband? Because at this point you had separated, isn't it?
Yeah, we separated, but now he's my ex-husband because we just divorced um, last month. Sorry, in May, finally, the
This year?
final one. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. He's been very nice though, because he now went to court to report my family, because he was fighting for my children, because my children couldn't see me. And he didn't want it to be, they saw me last when I was on the floor, pulling on my body and everything. So he now went to the doctors, and the doctor said it's not good for the children's mental health. So they came in to the hospital. It's like all the social services people came, then the council sent their people in. So they had to find out that my family didn't do the right thing. So my husband was allowed to see me, and they still asked him, does he want them to switch off the life support? He said no. So by this time, they didn't allow my family in again. It was just my husband and the children that were coming. And what that did for me, because when I saw my brother, because I think I saw him in a haze, I thought he was actually the one that kidnapped me and was trying to kill me. So, because the nurses, every time he comes, I'm shaking. And
Really?
yeah, they said, so I didn't even know. But when I saw my husband and my kids, I think that's sort of
You're
the healing.
relaxed.
The healing started. So I think when people, maybe when people are really sick or in coma, don't send the people that they don't talk to them.
That
Send
is
the people.
all right. But nobody knew. Nobody knew that you were not in good terms. All right. So subconsciously you were fighting, I don't want this person, I'm not in talking time with this person.
No, I thought actually that they were the one that kidnapped me and put me there. I thought I was in a jail. I didn't even know I was in a hospital. I thought,
In
maybe
your
because
spirit,
I'm from Nigeria.
in the spirit realm, or you were just perceiving that.
No, I was sure he was the one that kidnapped me and wanted to kill me. That's why he put me there. So that's what I thought. You could see maybe I was hallucinating, but I was so afraid of him. You
Yeah.
know?
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow. I don't even know what question to
I
ask
didn't
you.
even I didn't even tell him this now, because he's gonna see the video. But that was the way I
That
felt.
was how you felt them. So that's it happens. It happens to everyone. What can you tell us? Was there any symptoms, you know, for you to have felt, you were going to have heart attack or something like that?
Um, I never really get sick. I've never had chest pain in my life. I've never even had any heart problem. So it came from just nowhere. So what I realized about 2 weeks before that, I was shaking uncontrollably, like I have cold. My
Mm.
body was just shaking, even my phone. So I told the kids, because they were going to church. I told them to call the ambulance. I called the ambulance myself. And when the ambulance came, they checked me. By then, I stopped shaking. And they told me to go to the hospital. But I was thinking, I want to cook for these kids when they come home. So you see, probably
Mm.
if I've gone, they will have picked it up. But
Yeah.
later they told me that that shaking, that was a sign that something was coming. You see,
Wow.
most of us we don't know how to read our body. So
Yeah.
I think we should pay more attention to our body than
Mm.
cleaning the toilet and cooking jollof rice. Because I wanted to cook that day jollof rice for the kids. So I said,
Mm.
no, I'm fine now. If I knew what I know now, I would have gone with them. Since that I've helped so many other women, I will have gone with them and they will have picked it up before it became deadly.
Mm. And that's you're talking to somebody out there. You know, most of us women, we don't like ourselves. You know that. We don't really like ourselves. We don't take care of ourselves. We don't even know who we are. We need self-awareness. We need self-knowledge to study ourselves like school, to know when there is a pain, you should go and see the doctor. Don't say, oh, I want to take care of this. I want to do this. I want to. There were a lot of excuses you were giving. But thank God you live to tell the tale. Many
That
people never, because of just ignorance or, because you're saying, oh, who's going to take care of these children? But when somebody is gone, will the children survive or not? They will.
that's what, yeah.
They will survive. So any woman out there that you are feeling one kind, go and see the doctor. Take care of yourself. Sometimes take time away, to just take care of you. There's a book that says know thyself.
That's interesting.
Know thyself. When you know yourself very well, you know when things are wrong, things are not working too well in your body, and you just take action. Anyway, thank God for that. You said for now, for people watching us, what kind of symptoms do you think they should look out for?
Um, well, I think if somebody is always feeling unhappy or angry, because then I used to feel short-tempered, even with the kids. So I think it builds up if it's not addressed. Because I don't think it came overnight. All those times I was angry, having problems with my husband, if you spend your
Mm,
time fighting your partner, fighting the establishment, fighting the council, of course, the body keeps record. And it will tell you, I think even though they gave me a house, but I think by then it's already seen enough. And when he gave me the sign, the knock on the door, I didn't take it because I was just shaking like, the way you feel when you are naked in winter. It was
yeah.
shaking uncontrollably. And I
Mm,
didn't even know why. But my husband, he was the one that actually looked after me when I was discharged from the hospital because they couldn't
wow.
find a carer on time. And
Mm,
then, well, in fact, I didn't want to leave the hospital because when I discovered that I had heart cardiac arrest and my organs had failed, and I said to myself, people looking for one organ, like I know a friend looking for kidney. She spent 2 years on dialysis.
analysis.
She couldn't get one. But me now, I'm looking for kidney. I'm looking for heart. I'm looking for liver. I'm looking for spleen. So my organs were actually dead. But
So what happened? Did they have to replace it? Were there donor that gave you all those ones, or
no,
God just?
they told me that because even though I'm awake, they cannot guarantee how long I will live. So they have to give me every day 24 hours to live. So it was in that instance that I remembered all my clothes that I hadn't worn, all the things I've been keeping for when I go to Nigeria for special day. It hit me like a brick, and I could see my life. Then I remembered when I was in coma. So I think it shows that we have to live every day because having 24 hours, all I was doing was I was looking for pastor to pray for me because then I couldn't, I just wanted, because I wanted somebody to anoint me before I die. I didn't even know I was going to leave the hospital. So
Wow,
miraculously, all my organs just came back on their own. In
wow,
fact, before I left, they were calling me the miracle lady because
wow,
everything came back on their own.
wow, wow.
So even the brain
God,
dead,
there's somebody that used to say, he said, God has spare parts, all the bodily spare parts. He's our creator. It's possible. It's possible. God has spare parts. I mean, how can something they said is dead already, is your liver, your kidney, your what's it called, and now it start coming back on its own, regenerating. Your story is like that of is it Ezekiel 37, the dry bone. You know about that, the dry bone.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very dry. The Bible said it started coming back together. The sewing, they came, the body part, and they came together. That's supernatural. That's supernatural. That's very good. And when you came back, what was your reaction to your husband? I want to hear that.
Um, because initially he used to come to the hospital every day because the nurses told me that when I told them that, oh, that we don't live together, they said, really, that this man used to come and cry every day, and that he would come in the morning, he wouldn't leave my bedside. That even those that are with their husbands, the husband don't even do that. So I was shocked because I didn't see him. Actually, he was the one that said they should brush my teeth. Because and I said, even if you're in coma, they should clean your mouth. Because
Hmm.
I haven't brushed my teeth for two and a half, 2 months, and he was the one that was making fuss. So he brushed my teeth by himself, I remember. But
Hmm.
when I came home and he was bathing me, like cleaning me, in fact, I refused to bath. He has to lift me. I think I was 85 kilograms when I got sick. By the time they discharged me, I was 35.
Jesus. I mean, I saw. Let me show people your picture again. Oh, Jesus is Lord.
They were using a baby thing to
Yeah.
baby cough to do my blood pressure because I couldn't, even the junior
Yeah,
one
this
was too
picture
much.
here. Yeah. Look at the difference. God is wonderful. Wow. Wow. So what did you say when you saw him? When
Oh
you're
no,
able to talk?
well, because I saw him with my daughter, maybe because he had called the police 2 weeks before then, before I had, so I would have been scared maybe. But for some reason, because my daughter was there, I sort of, because he was coming very concerned because I know he was always, the doctors were always talking to him. So when we got home, before I came home, they brought my bed to the living room. They had the commode, everything. So, but they had no carer. So he had to do the caring because Croydon Council and Prince College, they mixed up. So before the carer came, I had the nurses at home because I went home with a hole in my neck because I had a voice box. I couldn't talk, so I have to talk like a robot through the box. So my children used to play games with me talking like a robot. But
Wow.
finally they removed it. So I never knew you could put a voice box in somebody's throat.
Hmm.
So
And the mark is a bit there. It's not showing anymore.
yeah, it's still there.
This one,
That reminds, yeah,
yeah, I can see
yeah,
that one a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. It was big
But
before.
he's healed.
Yes.
God is
So
wonderful.
that experience taught me, it's like, I see life differently now. And
Hmm.
anything I do now is with a purpose because even though I'm with you talking, I don't know what's around the corner because I was getting
Hmm.
ready for Christmas with no illness and I nearly lost my life. So
Hmm.
to me, every day now is a gift
It's a
for
new
me.
day and it's a gift. Can you please
Mm.
talk to women out there, women that are troubling themselves, people that are being depressed of just simple things, oh, my husband has left me, oh, I'm alone, oh, I need money, oh, my children, oh, this and this. Just speak to them.
Yeah, the first one that I saw, because when I was in coma, I didn't know I had children. I didn't even know I had a husband. It was just me. Do you know that they said that when I woke up, I was scared because the reason I was scared because I thought the doctors were aliens. The people that I was seeing in my coma, the other world, they were the people that I've been with for 2 months. I didn't want to leave them. To me,
Really?
I didn't want to come back. Yeah. And I felt guilty because I said, and these children were crying. So
Mm.
I tell people that these children, you think they're your children. You are just a vessel that they came with. They came, So you don't, and I see some Nigerian parents say, look, now me born you, I go kill you. It's a lie.
That's a good one. And I mean, Bonnie, I will kill you. Police
So
government will catch you.
yeah, so what you have to do is to learn to, because women do that when they are not looking after themselves. Because if you are not practicing self-care, you know, you actually get angry easily. And I think because I wasn't practicing self-care, I allowed what my mom was thinking. In fact, I could have controlled with what I know now, I should have controlled it.
Yeah.
And also I could have controlled it myself, but I allowed. Then my husband was traveling, I didn't address it. It's like I let everything just, it's like water sipping under the bridge. At the end of the day, it
Mm,
now became
too
too
much.
fast.
Flooded the whole
Yes.
place.
Yes, and I couldn't handle it.
Who
And also the
contained it?
culture plays a role because I'm from the Igbo community. In the Igbo land, I think I was trying to treat my husband with the Igbo system, even though it's Yoruba. Maybe that's why it didn't work. Our culture could either harm us or help us. I know
Yeah.
that some people say, now my culture, I have to do it. Yes,
Mm,
at the end of the day, are you going to marry your culture? You're not going to
mm,
marry your culture.
mm.
Yes, you have your culture, it's good, but there are some good and bad things in those cultures that we need to,
Do
to
away with.
change.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
bringing my mom to stay with me for 10 years. That was the Igbo culture, but I should have either gotten her a place or let another sibling take over.
Yeah, yeah. Were you the only girl?
She had three girls. There were two girls, before me. I'm the last girl. And I have brothers who are doctors. My sister is in Atlanta, the firstborn. So they're all doing well, but I don't know why I decided to be the good girl.
Wow, wow. I'm sure other people watching or that will watch later, they have to learn from this. Because like you said, sometimes we're doing something, the culture there, we don't really, there's a saying that when you're in Rome, you behave like the Romans. When you are not at home, even back home now, women don't do that anymore. There are some things that is not too good. You let go of it. You do that which will, take care of yourself, take care of your home. Your first family, your immediate family should be first. And in Africa, we don't do that. As we're carrying our primary family, we're carrying our nuclear family, we're carrying the extended family. Even sometimes we take care of the extended family more than our nuclear family. And it will always backfire. It always backfire. Do what is good and what is right. And, take, of course, the above it all, take good care of yourself and take good care of your children. If something else had happened, who would have suffered? Who do you think
My,
would have suffered?
my kids will have suffered.
That's just it. They would have. Because then everybody will now be saying the bad side of you. They'll forget all the good things that you have done. When your mother was this, she was this, while you are alive, they're telling you stories. They are telling you why you're crying just because you're pregnant. Because people differ. There are people, in the first trimester of their pregnancy, they really suffer. Some women will not even eat. From the day they get pregnant till anything they eat, they vomit it. Anything they eat, they vomit it. You have to know who you are. That's, and you needed people to care for you. Even your mother was supposed to care for you more. But of course, she didn't understand. She didn't
Yes.
understand it because she just knew about, in Africa, you have to be strong. And that's why you say that most women, they die in Africa. They die
That's
during childbirth because they're trying to satisfy or to make other people happy. Have you not seen some women, the day they have their children, they ask them to be pounding yam?
Yes, and they will say because Ngozi did the same. It's like you are lazy. That's just somebody did the same. They pounded them, so you should pound them. I know.
And they die. You'll be wondering, and then they say it's witches and wood. No, it's lack of care. It's lack of care. Lord help us. Lord help us. I don't know.
Actually, the one of witches. Some of my friends, they were saying that that all this witchcraft from Africa, they nearly kill you. But I knew it wasn't witchcraft. That most people thought what happened to me was spiritual attack. But I told them, I said it's not. It's because this thing has been brewing. I didn't even know. So
Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I teach people now. I actually opened a company. My company is called Put You First Limited. It's putyouFirst.org. so that I can put myself first. Because when, like on the aeroplane, they said if the you have to put the mask on
For
yourself first
emergency.
before the your child. So
Mm,
if my cup is not full, I used to pour from an empty cup. If my cup is not full, and then that's an empty cup, empty cup, you are
mm,
just killing yourself. But if
yeah.
the cup is full, you can give some, you know. So
Yeah.
that's what I do. I said I teach women how to put themselves first and how to start their own business, because sometimes people have lots of ideas, but they have no mentor. Because in
Mm,
here, most of the African people, they are not very good at supporting. They pray a lot, but they don't support each other. So I support
mm,
them. I use their passion to train them, and
mm,
I have all those on my reinvention reinvention mastery program, which I used
mm.
to teach women, because I reinvented myself from zero to what I'm doing today. I speak all over the world. I speak in India, in Dubai, I've been invited to Africa, I've been to US, and I just wanted to leave a legacy now for people, because I don't know how long I'm going to be on earth, so I want to leave a legacy.
Wow, you want to leave a legacy. And the only way you can leave a legacy is to know yourself, reinvent yourself, know who you are. That's my book. When you know who you are, people will not tell you who you are not. In that journey of life, you see that most people were telling you who you are not, and you were pouring out of your, like you said, out of your empty cup into, you have not, but you still satisfy people. You don't want them to say, oh no, they don't. You don't want to say, oh, Adaobi is not good, or Adaobi is not this, or Adaobi is not this. From nothing, you are still giving them something, which is very wrong. So if there's any woman out there that you know that you haven't got much, take care of yourself. It has to be you first. The moment you are aware of yourself, you know who you are. What you don't have, you can give. You can give. So if somebody wants to come to that course, like how long does it take and how much is it?
Oh, I usually do some for, because I know some women might be struggling. Because at the moment, I have 21 people I'm mentoring. I'm also the African youth mentor, and I want to change the mindset of our young people, especially women, because once they have their mindset changed, they can do better. And I also want to talk to women who are like from 45 upwards, because sometimes at that age, even over 50 or over 60, they think life is finished. I'm an example that you can do more. You don't have to follow you are not in Nigeria or you're not in Africa, you are here. When you are here, you can change. And if you are somebody who is not Africa and you want to change your life, I
Hmm.
can support you. And the thing that will help is also for you to find love in your life. Because if you have somebody that truly loves you, it really helps. Like me, I have actually reinvented myself so much that I also have a digital company where I help promote speakers. So if you want to speak about your products, if you want to write your book, I have a company that does that. And I also have a small one, which I decided to do to show women how to find love after the age of 50, what they should do and what they should look for. Because I have found one. I have somebody that loves me. His name is Olalekan Bakare. My family said he's still
Hey.
Yoruba again, but it's Olalekan Bakare, and I like him. I love him so much. He loves me, and he actually helps me with what I'm doing. There's nothing like finding somebody who supports you, who listens to you.
Yeah.
So I think I've actually found my soulmate now.
Wow. Please preach that again. And this is after two. How old are your children?
Oh, my daughter is 21 and my son is 17.
Can you please tell somebody out there that have had just one child and say, oh, oh, I don't think there's any man for me. I don't think, nobody's looking at me. Nobody. Please preach to them that there is hope. There is hope. If you don't give up, there's somebody for you out there, whosoever that is watching or that will watch later. There is somebody out there. When you reinvent yourself, that is one thing with us women. The moment you reinvent yourself, you will see your Boaz is out there waiting for you. And because we are in that pity party mode, because we have not changed our mindset, so we attract people just like mind, like mind. We attract like mind, people who would not respect us, people who would not, who does not know our worth. So please tell women out there that are watching you now, that will watch you later, that there is a hope for them.
Yeah, most women, when they're looking for a lover or boyfriend, they only do the external. They make their nails, they make the Chinese people rich, they go to the nail bar, but they don't work on the inside. If you are hollow on the inside and you have all the hair, all the makeup, all the nice clothes, and even the shape, you shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Men want substance. You have to know how to hold their attention and what are you bringing on the table.
Yep.
You also have to know how to get rid of men that are not worth it. Right now, I have about 30 men chasing me. But every time I come on stage, people want to marry me. But the one I chose was the best because he helps me with my business.
Wow.
And we also parent my children together. So those are the things you have to look. You have to look for, not just the man. We are both assets to each other.
That is it.
So you're not just looking for a bedmate. You want somebody because you can't be having breakup if you don't learn anything from your first marriage. What are you gonna? You don't go there and you don't go there and be complaining about how. I've never talked about my husband. My ex. I didn't say he was bad or he was this. You have to respect, because I respect him for saving my life and also looking after me. His respect is there. I don't go. You don't download your
Mouth.
problems to
Oh
the
yeah,
other man. Yeah. So what you have to do, you have to separate everything. Go fresh to the man and discuss with him. I have a workshop I do for women finding love after 45 or after a divorce. So I wanted to start from over 50, but there are so many women that of over 45 that my classes are on my website. And then if you want, you can link up with Faith and she can tell you how you can reach me.
Who
Because
is
I
Faith?
told them,
I'm Carol.
sorry, your organization,
Yeah,
Faith
Faith
Ministry,
Academy.
Faith Academy,
Yeah.
or you can link up with Carol and she will tell you how to get to me. Because this workshop, I only take 6 people and it's online. Before it was face to face. And I can give you some nuggets of what you can. So by the time you put all your makeup and everything, you are like you are even
$1
better
million
than
babe.
Kim Kardashian. Those people, they do airbrushing. This one, there's no airbrush. You are looking at me like this. So you want to look your best. And when you are happy and when you are loved, you actually radiate health, you radiate happiness.
Yeah.
But if you are not loved, and I show you how to, live. If you want to live a bad marriage, there are certain things you shouldn't do. Show you how to connect with your children. Sometimes, even if you stay there, you can still make something. I wish somebody had shown me what I will save you months of anguish. I will save you illness, because when
Wow.
you're explaining to the whole world, you are getting sick. And I can also save you your life so that you don't die and leave your children. So that's what I
And how
do.
much would that cost somebody to be in your class or to be trained?
The Most of my classes, if it's the one for reinvention, the minimum starts at 250. But I also give them, depends on how. I have the one of 4 weeks, the one of 6 weeks, the one of 8 weeks. So because I don't like putting it on long term, I like to give nuggets to people so that they can take away. I'm not, because I used to attend some classes before. They make it too long. When people want to change, they don't need long period. Work with them once a week for 6 weeks. And that one is about, I think I'll be doing a discount just for the month of June. I will take 250 for that 6 weeks. Yeah, just for people that want to take the offer because of you. It's the lowest I can go. Normally, this one cost me about £1,000. I charge my clients. But because of this show, and because you've said I should give it at a cheap price.
Yeah.
If they sign up by June, till the end of June, I'll take 250. And they can go on my next class, which is starting on the 31st of June, on the 30th of June, sorry.
All right. If you are interested and you want to reinvent yourself, you want a partner, get in touch with Adaobi. She will really make sure that things change in your life. She's a living example. She's been through, and now see who she is now. Somebody who had 5 cardiac arrests in 4 days. Somebody who has been through, depression, anxiety, and everything. But look at her, she's glowing. It can only be God. And not only that, you too, you took the opportunity to say, you know what? Thunder will not strike the second time again. I am just going to do something about this. That's true. Some people, when they are going through issue or things happen to them, they don't learn from it and use that experience to, turn their pain to a purpose. You just did it and you're even making money out of it. All right. Time is not on our side. I just want to ask the last question. Looking back now, what is one mistake that you made in life that we can learn from?
Oh, I spent too much time waiting for the right person to show up. Sometimes you have to move and the right person will show up. When I was recovering, I was going with crutches. Even I was on a wheelchair, going for seminars to learn how to change. And people were not happy because the manager was putting his phone on 999. Because when they heard what happened to me, they felt I was not coachable. But I was showing up. My husband even paid for me to go to those convention. So those were the places I learned. But what I did, I put it in a smaller package so that because sometimes when people go to those convention, they get lost. But
Yeah.
I'm offering them what I have paid over 10,000 for, because I believe that I want to help women. I don't want them to spend so much before they can get there. So don't wait, because time passes. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I never knew I was going to die on the day I was putting up the Christmas tree for my children. And that I've been able to see my daughter enter her first year in university, and my just finishing his A level. So, and there were many things that I did with them, which their father couldn't have been able to do. I also tell my daughter about how to deal with men, and she brings her friends to me to even talk to her friends because their mother don't tell them. So it's all benefits. Don't wait. Always do things on time. And money is to be used to get knowledge. I've had this thing. These are the things that I spent many years, even lessons beyond the grave. Because when I was in coma, I was in school. I wasn't in a coma. God was teaching me. The angels were teaching me. Most of the knowledge I have were knowledge from the grave. So I'm giving, and you also be able to get my book for free by Reinvention Mastery Program. It's only
that's awesome. I'm going to invite you again for that Reinvention Mastery Program, because most of us, we do need it. We need it. We women, we don't take care of ourselves. Most of us are living a frustrated life and we are wondering what is going on with us. We're not happy in our relationship. We're not happy in our job. Why? Because we are not working in our purpose. And that because another reason is that we don't even know who we are. Because if you don't know who you are, the devil will kick you about like ball. People will tell you, they will define you, So we need to know who we are. We are powerful. As a woman, you are very powerful. We are intelligent, you talk about earlier on that a man does not want a liability, and that is the truth of the matter. Your beauty alone cannot hold a marriage. But when you have brain, I was actually listening to a video today, and Miles Moreau said, he said something that really, start that really, wake me up. He said, God called you a helpmate. What does it mean to be a helpmate? A man has to have a job. All right. When a man has a job, then the woman comes there. You attract the woman that will help you in that journey of life. He said, if you don't have anything to do, the woman that wants to help you will be frustrated. And that's why you see some women who are very powerful in doing business. They are they are serial entrepreneurs and do it because they have nothing to do. There's nothing in the hand of the man to do. So you are there to help them. What is their vision? As a woman, ask before you even get married. He said you should ask, what are you doing? What's your vision? What's your vision? Not do you love me? Because love sometimes never lasts in marriage. It doesn't. But when you have his vision, you know, step into that vision. From his vision, you get your own vision out of it. You know, you help him, you give him ideas. This is how you should do it. You talk together. You'll be shocked that, you know, when you are walking the vision of a man, what happened? You become more closer. You become friends more. You know, I mean, you can actually talk about that because you and your partner, you are into your business.
Yeah. But when I met him, he didn't know, I didn't even know he could support me. But it's because he saw that I was dedicated to what I was doing. And he started coming and giving me ideas of things, you know, how to do things.
Yeah.
He even started to train me on how to talk. I said, what? I didn't even know you know about that. But he just wanted to be part of my life. So there's a woman, they earn a lot of money and they marry this man that does nothing. And if you are supporting him, you are actually making them, you complain that, oh, he's a lazy man. He's
Yeah.
not lazy. If
True.
God has blessed you with knowledge, like Carol said, try and find out what he can do so that you can set him up as well. So that you won't say he's bleeding you dry.
Bleeding you dry. We stop here for today. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming on the show. I'm going to invite you again to, you know, to come. We're really going to talk about that reinvention because I'm very, you know, passionate about purpose, mindset, limiting beliefs. I love women to, you know, to rebrand themselves to be, you know, who God has, you know, created them to be, because I know women, you know, we are strong, we are brilliant, you know, we can do all things because we've got the strength, you know, we have it. And all we need to do is just to do just a little bit of brush up, a little bit of training, and then voila, you'll be walking in your purpose. And the Lord will help us in Jesus' name. You know, when things happen in life, what do? We have two choices in dealing with the situation, just like you did. Is either we focus on that thing that that didn't work well and learn from it to pass on, or what do? We just, you know, take the situation, we sit down there and be crying and crying and crying, or we look at it and say, you know what, this thing that has happened to me is only temporary setback. You know, you find the lesson from there, and you know, you learn from it and become a better you, just like Adalbi has done to herself. So on this note, we have to come to an end. I just want to say thank you to every one of you that have been watching. Please share the video. Let be a blessing to other out there. And if you want to go to the course Adalbi is holding, when do you usually hold the courses? Is it monthly or fortnightly or what?
Monthly. Like the next one is 30th of June.
Okay.
The reason is because I normally travel, because I'll be going to Philippines to speak in November. So I'll use the summer to create the courses. Yes. And sometimes I also have churches. I go to the church to teach the women there.
That's very good. You see, she turned her pain to a purpose. She turned her message into her mess into a message. You know, do you know this thing that happened to you? Other people, it will happen to them. They will not do anything. They'll be complaining. They will say, you know, 2 years ago I had, you know, I almost died. 2 years ago, you know, I was in the hospital. They'll be taking the picture. They will do nothing about it. God bless us and God help us. Bye bye for now, everyone.
Thank you.
God bless you.